Ian is a weirdo. Yes, I am wearing my glasses. I have not worn them in a while. I've noticed a lot of eye fatigue, especially looking at my phone and screens and stuff. My eyes are like, no, you're not going to do that anymore. We're just going to stop letting you do that. So, if you're wondering why I am wearing them now, um, so I am farsighted, meaning that I can kind of strain my eyes to generally see well enough. These are very dirty, but I again have to strain my eyes to see things. So um, that are up close. So reading and stuff can tend to be a little challenging. So basically, I have like glorified reading glasses that accommodate my um, pretty severe astigmatism in this eye. So that's what's going on here. This isn't my favorite pair of glasses I own, but I honestly I don't even know where the other pair is. So what are we gonna do? So I'm gonna work. So we're gonna do like a Whip Wednesday. Maybe I should call this Whip Wednesday. I don't know. But I was working on a mesh bag, and I had to frog a lot of it because apparently I was dropping a lot of stitches. Oops. And so I'm going to start back up on that, and we'll just get rolling right into it. These are both H hooks, if I'm not mistaken. So I'd rather use this personally. Actually, I think I tried both of these. If I might be mistaken, but I think I actually liked the other one better. Doesn't get caught up on the metallic of this. Hello, welcome in. So what I'm going to do once I get to the end of this row is I'm going to switch to a different technique that I saw in this hack video. So let me try to find this link for you all if you want to find out. So like I find that a lot of crochet hacks, I know like a lot of like the basics. There aren't many videos where I'm like, wow, I haven't seen that before, like just in how it is, right? But my tummy is like, nah. My body's been all weird lately. But let's see. I have so many videos of like popping. Let's see. So, but this one I actually liked because it had a bunch of different. It had a couple different hacks that I hadn't seen or heard about before. So I really wanted to let's see, copy and then paste. I'll also put it in the description so that I'll put it right below. What should I call this? Call it like YouTube inspo video because it's got some like really cute stuff in it for sure. And this person who does this is just adorable. I don't know how I found her. I'm so glad I did. And like I said, some of the hacks are like things that I've seen before, and other things are like crocheting mesh 3 rows at a time. And I'm like, wait, what? Like you can do that? That's awesome. And I literally did make that noise. So yeah, so if you want to check out her video, obviously I'm going to send support and love to anyone who is inspiring out here on these YouTube streets. It's a really cool video. Like I said, some of the things I didn't really need. One of the the second video is like how to make a magic circle. It's like I've got my technique. I know what works for me. I know what I can remember. and so I do it like that. But there were some things that she did that were really helpful. So take what you want, don't take what you don't want. It inspired me. So if you're in Army of Weirdos, you know that the picture for Army of Weirdos is a throw pillow that I made that has baubles in it. It says "fuck," right? And if you're not an Army of Weirdos and you're on Facebook, I honestly don't know what you're doing, but do what you want. Um, but this person did a video where they did like baubles, on a kind of flat background so that it stood out, but uh, she did it in multiple colors, and I was like, that would be so cute to have it almost looks like a sprinkle situation, and I was really like excited and inspired by that. So I think that's actually maybe what drew my eye in this particular video, or maybe it was the crocheting 3 rows of mesh at a time, because I was like, I could definitely get used to that. If they're all the same color, you can do 3 rows at a time in one stitch. I don't know if it's any faster. I mean, it's got to be faster than doing 3 rows, right? But I don't know. So I'm gonna give it a try. So I'm using my 5mm Odyssey, such a stable hook, and for some reason, even though the shapes of the heads are almost identical, this tends to catch a lot less on this sparkly yarn, which has like a metallic thread going through it. This is a Big Twist sparkle in, I think, a gray or something. They don't have that many colors, so you can easily find it. Um, so yeah, I wanted to do like when I was thinking about doing my Pride booth, which I'm still honestly on the fence about. It just depends on like what money looks like, I guess. A lot of things coming up. Hey, Winter. Um, uh, what was I saying? Yeah, so I'm kind of on the fence about the Pride booth. Like, I want to do it, but I'm a little like hesitant on like upfront costs, and then I'm also worried that I'm going to make all this stuff and literally, I do you have like a recipe that you follow, or do you just kind of go by like what you want? Because you've mentioned making applesauce before, and I was like, I love applesauce so much. Like, please, like, I need to know how you make applesauce because I'm an idiot, and it might literally be just as easy as just like squashing apples, but I don't know. And I also don't really like the added like sugar and stuff of like a lot of store bought stuff. You don't really follow a recipe. Okay, you just cut up apples and add water and a ton of cinnamon. Okay. Do you boil it? Do you bake it? Like, what do you just? Yeah, tell me your technique. Or you can talk about it on live one day, and or I can literally just look up a recipe myself and stop being so freaking lazy. But whatever. Um, so yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna do the Pride booth because it just really depends on how my disability goes, and also, if I'm prepared to like take that kind of financial burden up front. It's pretty intense, and I'm not sure that I can do it. If this is my first like craft fair type showing, I'm kind of afraid. But the thing is, the good thing about Pride is that I don't see a lot of booths selling crochet wear. Um, so I think it could be really cool, and I think that people would probably really like it, but I don't know. And I also know that people are like pretty loose with their purse strings um, at Pride, so I think I could get some of my higher ticket items to sell. But cup of water for every 16, and then I do is peel and cut them into small pieces, put on the stove, low setting. Okay, yeah, I'm liking this. Starts to break down. You have to mash them out. Okay, yeah, that's totally fine. Cool. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. For some reason, with this particular pattern, I'm always have a really hard time finding the end of it. There it is. Okay. And then you cook it until it's boiling. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'll have to give that a try because that sounds awesome and it sounds delicious. And I love cinnamon applesauce. Like, I love cinnamon in general. Um, but you put it in applesauce. Ooh, another story. Okay, so we're gonna go into. What did I decide to do here? Because I'm not really liking the way it's looking on the side. Looks kind of weird, if I'm being honest. Okay, so let me just put this in here. Try to figure out what I was doing. Because, like, I thought I was doing the right thing when I started, and for some reason I was dropping stitches, which I don't normally have that issue, but I guess just my brain was not braining that day. Okay, so this has gotten so tangled on my desk. This has been on my desk for like weeks because I had other projects to do. I think in the past, I've had like a very busy January. I think I maybe had, so just to give you a frame of reference, like usually I'll have like maybe 4 packer orders in a month. Like, I don't sell that much. Um, this month so far, I've probably sold 12 to 15 packers, and then I also sold this cardigan behind me. So it's a big difference. Um, so let me see. I'm like really, like, I'm hot, but I know that the minute that this comes off, I will be very cold, so I don't know what to do. I also have, like, I think it's like I have chills because, like, I can see them on my skin, but that might just be my brain working like that. Okay, so um, I'm going to find this video on, on my phone. I'm gonna watch it on mute. I don't know where my headphones are. That's something I need to order. Also, so I put this on my Facebook. I'm not sure if you saw this winter, and I don't know if you have misophonia or like the like sound sensitivity, which I know is really common in people with ADHD and autism. But like, so I've had some different. Hey Lydia, thanks for coming in. But I've had different sets of just like earbuds that will let a lot of sound through, but it kind of like cuts off the static, if that makes sense. So I had a pair of Flare audio brand, and I loved them. They were great. They were very tiny, and I was like, always really nervous they were gonna just burrow their way into my brain, because like literally all that would stick out was like the size of a pencil eraser, like that big of just like a little silicone like stick basically. So I was really nervous that that was gonna happen to me. But then no, I mean, no worries. I don't know. I was saying, I don't know if you have misophonia with like the sensitivity to sound. Um, and Ooh, that sounds good. Send me some. It'll only take a couple, like 2 weeks to get here, and probably be bad as I get here. Anyways, but so I'm kind of torn between. So I've tried the Flare audio ones before. I really like them, but they're very, very, very small, and I'm just kind of nervous because they're so small of whether or not they're just gonna just find their way over. Oh, nice. That's great, Lydia. Congratulations. Um, and so the flare ones, I liked what they did. I could hear well, but I didn't have to hear the noises I didn't want to hear, unless they were like really loud or something like that. But even then, it kind of muffled some of those like really loud like bangs that would kind of set off my PTSD or something like that. Um, but then I lost those, so I got replacements and I got loop brand, and I don't like the loop ones as much. And I guess like loop has different types. People were telling me that like I should get this loop or that loop, but it sounded like maybe they were telling me the ones that I already have, which I don't like. And I said I don't like. I don't know. I'm not really sure what's going on. Some people do over the ear headphones that they like that blocks a little bit more noise, but I want to kind of be able to interact like there's nothing different about me, even though I have these earbuds. And so that's kind of what my goal is. So and plus I have big curly hair. It's not as curly as you've seen it before, but like I have big hair, so something that goes over my head does a lot of weird stuff to my hair. Um, so I wanted to know if anyone had any recommendations for for that. So I'm going to um, also I'm learning this via a video. I posted it up in the chat, but it's also in the description, and I just called it like I guess like YouTube inspo video or I don't know. But it's a link from Crochet with Tula Maria because of sensor issues in Europe. Okay, yeah, totally understand. Yeah, the like honestly, the sensation, like I had more of a sensory issue with the loops. Like for some reason, the flares like they laid and they didn't like do anything weird with my like ear hairs. Does that make sense? But the loops, because the head is larger, they did, and I don't like it. But whatever. I am trying to find the okay 3 rows of mesh at once. So here is, I don't know if you can see. So she's doing 3 rows of mesh at once, and I'm like, this is genius, and may cut off so much time. So I'm super excited to give it a try. Um, I might do, um, I might do, let me see how far. Yeah, I'll do the 3 at once, and then we'll kind of see where that takes us. Um, so I need to turn on closed captioning. Oh, this is so bad. I knew the longer it was here, the worse it was going to get, and this just makes me very nervous. Starting to feel like a little bit like antsy. I guess my emergency med has worn off at this point, so I probably need to take more, but I am not doing that because it's so late. I'm trying to get to bed. Yeah, it's not like I need like full ear protection. Like I need to be able to like hear and navigate if possible, but I just like I don't want to um like I want kind of like that the sensory problems to go away, you know. Like that's my ideal. And like I said with the flares, it did help, but also like when I first bought the flares and the loops, they only had one variety, one size. So I bought them just as they were. So now I don't know like what size to buy, and I want to buy the wrong size because they're like $30, and I don't know. Sorry, I'm trying to watch this tutorial. This is pretty cool. I never would have thought about this. Um, what's my turning chain? Okay, 10. Okay. 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I'm very sound sensitive. I can't have them now. I have hearing aids. Yeah. Yeah. See, I just like, for me, it's like, it's such a like, it'll just, things kind of sneak up on me, like that irritability and that like flash of rage that you get when something like, it's just like, ugh, it just like, it's so awful because it just like gets you in such a bad place so quickly. Um, like it can build up over time, or it can just be like all of a sudden you realize there's all this noise, and you're like, I'm gonna die. I just, oh my god, I want to rip my skin off. And so that's kind of where I get, and I'm like, I need something to like help me through this. And those have been like more helpful, and I can still like, I don't get like weird, like echoey, like I, you know, that like weirdness that you can get, like when you have like, if you have like a normal like foam ear buds in, like plugs in, that like you first of all you like hear like them crunching against like the sides of your ears, and you're like, nope. And then but they kind of muffle everything, um and uh and it just it you can't like interact with like people like you like as easily as you could before, so you can kind of hear yourself talking, which is very unsettling for me at least. So yeah, so for me I like to make sure that I don't have that experience. So let me watch this. Okay. I think I yarn over twice, and then we go into the fifth stitch from the hook. One, two, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through two, do two yarn overs. Wait, what was that? This is annoying. Sorry. Two, okay. Have that. Then, yeah, yarn over two. And then two, and start. It doesn't tell me where to start it. Ugh, I hate when when you're doing closed captioning, but like it's just kind of an auto generated one. So you're like, I have no idea what you just said. I am working on a market bag. I wanted to work on another whip, and I was gonna do my usual like whip Wednesday. I guess it's not usual if I've only done it once. I was gonna do my normal whip Wednesday, but I was like, I have this market bag that has been sitting in like a clump because I had to frog it quite a bit um, uh, on my desk for a little while now, and it's just getting in the way. It's hard to use anything, and so I just need to handle that so that I can, you know, not die. Going to the stitch right here, one, two, and then two at a time. Let's see if I did it. Okay, we're close. I mean, it's not exactly even. Um, yeah, okay. Let me let me look at this. Okay, so we did 10. So the 10 came up around here. And then we went into the fifth stitch. Now, for for me, the fifth stitch, maybe if I moved this one up one, it would be more even. I don't know, this feels like it's like way smaller. Feels like these are both the same size and this one's bigger. So I need to adjust all of them. Okay, so I'm trying to learn how to, when you do like a mesh stitch like this, how to do 3 rows at a time, and for some reason the tutorial just is not working with my brain right now. Also, I'm trying to watch it on mute so that I can um, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I felt like this one was off. I'm too big with that one. So yeah, so that's what I am working on right now. We're gonna try to get this right. If not, I'll just switch back to doing one at a time until I can have some time to figure it out with, yeah. Live your mossy craft dream, W2. Yay, applesauce. Mm, I don't, I'm not quite sure what that means, Mads. But, uh, thank you. Okay, so this is the 3. This looks better. This looks better to me. So then we chain 1 for that space, and then we're gonna go back a little bit. Okay, so 2, and then in that space. Oh, okay, so it makes perfect sense. Sorry, Mads, I'm not quite sure um, what's happening. If I'm being honest, maybe I skipped something. Sorry. Um, but I often don't know what's going on, so please do not take it personally. Um, this is actually way easier and definitely less time consuming than then doing 3 rows. And it's very easy. So if you ever make like uh whatchamacallit, like net anything. Oh, I appreciate it. I really do. I'm sorry. I'm just really I'm just confused. Sorry. I'm not saying you're saying a bad thing. I appreciate good vibes. I will always go off of good vibes. So I appreciate that. I just was um like my brain might just not be braining right now. But you never need to apologize for sending good vibes on this channel. I do appreciate it. I know everyone else on the channel appreciates it as well. So we're just here to have a good time. And make some crochet magic. I don't know if it's magic. Okay. I was just like, am I not reading this right? You know what? Like you can tell someone like has like probably good intentions, but you just cannot tell what's happening. Like, where am I? So this is super cool. I really like this technique. It is not. Oh no, you burnt your tongue in your applesauce. See, I would want to eat it immediately too, and I would definitely burn myself on applesauce. Applesauce would become a weapon in my house. I mean, it does not taste like cinnamon anymore. I put so much cinnamon in my applesauce. It is crazy. Like, I love cinnamon so much. Like, I've never done the cinnamon challenge, but like, I think I would almost enjoy it because I love cinnamon that much. Although the powder thing would be an issue. But like, every fall, I get like a cinnamon broom to put in my car. Like, but in the meantime, I'm your yeah, I put so much in it. Wait, no, I put damn it. Uh, yeah. Okay, so I just straight up did that all wrong. Okay. Well, it's easy to frog. Are like dead. Yes. Okay. Yeah, yeah, I would definitely kill my taste buds by doing that. I actually have not one, but two um, tongue conditions. So, you know, I'm so cool. Um, but here's a little fun fact on your Ian trivia sheet that no one has because no one cares. So I have geographic tongue, which doesn't happen all the time. They don't exactly know what causes it. They think it might have something to do with allergies. Basically, I will get like patches on my tongue. I don't think I have any right now, but that like white there is always there, so don't judge me. Um, I beat it via saliva, but I have no proof. I believe you, Mads. Um, yeah, I think if you like can produce enough saliva to get it all wet, then you don't, you know, it out. Um, but that's me just being hypothetical about it, of course. Um, so I do. No, it's not thrush. No, that's just my mouth. And it's part of my geographic tongue. So geographic tongue is when you lose patches of the papilla or the taste buds on your mouth. So I my tongue kind of always looks like this, except when it's my geographic tongue's really bad. Um, like, see over there where it looks like I've been chewing on my tongue? I haven't. That's geographic tongue. I just lose taste buds there. So when you're welcome, baby. That is, you lose papilla on your tongue. I used to be really sensitive to spicy food. A lot of people with geographic tongue are very sensitive to spicy food. I couldn't even use regular toothpaste. It was so bad. And now I eat more spicy food than pretty much anyone I know. I love spicy food, so thankfully that's not a problem anymore. I can eat spicy food just fine and do. Um, but uh, but it can make you more, prone to spicy food discomfort, and then you can also it changes the way food tastes. It doesn't eliminate, you're not gonna lose all of your sour taste buds at once. To spicy food, but no geography in my mouth, no math either. I love that. Yeah, so it's called geographic tongue because, when most of the time when it manifests, I'm sure there's biology going on in your tongue, just not other people's. Your biology is going on in your tongue, so that's why I said that, but not to gross you out. But as soon as I realized I was saying it, I was like, well, this train's moving. So, fuck. I was like, please don't gross winter out. Please don't gross winter out. In prenatal get curry vibes from their mama. Other biology, yes. um, yeah, and I know thrush is very common for multiple people for multiple different reasons. Yeah, it's funny. I don't have any problem with spicy food with my gallbladder out now. Literally not a problem at all. But almost every food makes me feel bad. But no noticeable difference with spicy food. In fact, I kind of have less problems, so I should just eat more spicy food. Um, Boob juice has spices. I did not know that, and I was hoping that I would never find that out. So thank you for ruining that for me. I'm just kidding. Um, so, uh, yeah. Let's see. I don't know. I'm not. I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure what's happening. If I'm being honest, I'm just really not sure what's happening, and I think that that's good enough for me. Uh, as long as it doesn't turn bad, it's fine. Um, anyways, yeah, I, I, I don't like banning people off my channel, especially when I'm this level of confused about what's happening. Um, because there's always intentional people who are trolls, and then there are people who I just am not on the same wavelength as them, and so uh, I'm not quite sure what's happening. If I'm being honest, um, I mean, uh, so I'm just not really sure what's happening. Random messages without them being mean. Okay, yeah, I haven't actually really had one of those before, so let's just see where this goes. Um, so, let's see. So I have geographic tongue. It's one of my tongue conditions indicated by cultural cuisines. Okay. Yeah, and that makes sense. I mean, there are definitely some cultures where the food is naturally more spicy, um, or generally more spicy, I should say. Um, and uh, so, but I also have this thing called Fisher tongue. Now, Fisher tongue actually does not So geographic tongue can actually hurt. Like in these spots, my tongue can get very sensitive. Um, like like in a like tactile sense, like it's very hurty. I don't know, if I start losing a bunch of papilla, it can get very painful. It feels like I've been chewing on my tongue, right? They smell like curry because their mother's breast milk. Interesting. I mean, I suppose that makes sense. Also, curry tends to be a more potent smell, so I guess that's one of the smells we could get out of that. So yeah, I mean, I guess that makes sense. I don't know many prenatal kids, if I'm being honest. I actually don't know any. So oh, interesting. That's very cool. Um, I That reminds me, I had one of my very close friends um, from the get go. Yeah, that makes sense. One of my very close friends, she was having a baby shower, and she is from India, and so is her husband, and so are most of their friends. So they got like Indian food catered to uh, the like clubhouse at their you work in ER care. Okay, okay, that makes sense. Um, so so they got Indian food catered, and most of the people there were Indian, right? For the clubhouse of their apartment complex. So they most of the people there were Indian, and I'm not. So but you know, I I so I was at this point where I could eat mostly anything. With my eating disorder now, I'm much more sensitive to meat. Although the great thing about a lot of Indian cuisine is like you don't have to eat meat. There's so many options. Um, so so luckily I didn't have that problem there. But anyways, so my literally like every person came up to me and they're like, the food's not too spicy, right? Like they were all so sweet, but they're like, it's not too spicy, right? I'm like, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm really fine. Thank you. Um, like every person checked in with me. It was so sweet. And I was like, I'm fine. Okay. Um, Thanks for hanging out, Lydia. I appreciate it. Um, and oh my gosh, this trick is magical. To think I was doing one row at a time like a plebe, not anymore. Yeah, I should go to bed soon too. Oh, I hate nuts. But okay, so my other condition does not hurt. The only potential problem that you can have with this issue um, is you can get an infection if you don't keep your tongue clean. And like I don't even know how that would like I can't even like imagine what that would be like. But it's this thing called Fisher tongue. And if you don't like uh, looking at weird tongues, I suggest you look away. Specialized knowledge, embarrassed lack of no worries, no worries. I was trying to read and like understand, and sometimes like my brain, it's just been a long day, so my brain is kind of like half off, anyways, or half on, depending on how you view the world. So I really think that yeah, you weren't giving creep vibes. It was just like I'm not quite sure what they're trying to say. But that's all it was. That's all it was. But now I got it cleared up, and it's fine. It's fine. No, we just wanted to make sure that you weren't, coming in here trying to be sour. Yeah. I love sour, but sour does also hurt my tongue a little bit. But I love sour too. I'm a sour boy. Sorry, just came off. Okay, so if you are grossed out by anatomy in this part of the mouth, I just heads up. So that is called a Fisher tongue. I for the last, I don't know, 15 years, I've had this big one down the center, and then I get these on the side. No, it's wild. I appreciate the potential of even eyeballs. Yeah, I always like to give people a heads up before I give them a very up close view of my my body, um, or even a far away view. It's not pretty. Um, but yeah, so luckily I haven't had too many problems, and I always like to joke that it was like I feel like I have the equivalent of like a cat tongue. You know, cats have like spiked tongues. No, it has no relation to thrush. They truly don't know what causes it. Like I said, the prevailing theory is allergies, but my mom is a dentist, and it's just one of those things that some people have. It is they think it's a genetic condition, but they don't understand what, like, I guess genome or whatever would cause it. But like it's just it. So it maybe it's congenital. I don't know. I don't know. But it's just something that some people have. Like, but I've been to many doctors, not just my mom, and I do not have thrush. I do not have thrush. It's not like yeast on my tongue at all. And like some people don't have the whiteness, but that's actually super. I'm familiar with the intense sickle cell disease. Yes, I that is very severe. Um, Indeed, for I have a I don't know. He was more of an acquaintance in high school, but he has sickle cell, and oof, that's a rough thing. Um, but no, it has no relation to thrush. Like my wife is super prone to thrush, especially with the use of like albuterol inhalers. Um, and I've never once had thrush, so I have no idea. It's not like you can't scrape it off. You can't use medication to make it go away. Literally, there's no treatment for it. It's just like you live with it, and that's your life. So you have a cold tongue. But oh, I was saying like it's kind of like a cat's tongue, and I always used to joke that it used to help me get the ladies because my tongue is ribbed for their pleasure. So I'm gross. Sorry. But you know, I make the best out of a bad situation or a weird situation. But like some people will look at my tongue and be like, "Your tongue is diseased or gross." Or I used to get this more when I was younger because my geographic tongue was really bad. My intro to systemic racism. Oh, with sickle cell? Because like, yeah, so bad, so insanely. I couldn't. Yeah. Yeah, when people are like, that doesn't exist, I'm like, "You moron." Frankly, like I literally don't have things to say to those types of people. Um, but yeah. Um, I hope he's doing well. I should check in with him. I hope he is. What is VOC? I don't I don't know the acronym, so I don't want to assume it's something when I don't know what it means. As a little baby research assistant. Mm. Yeah, usually I'm not this slow, but today I happen to be very slow on the uptake on a lot of things. So, but yeah, sickle cell is hell of a disease to be facing. Um, so you know, we got to be thankful for what we do have and vaso-occlusive crises. Okay, so like, is that okay? So vaso is like veins, right? And occlusive is like clogging. I don't know. Ian, okay, turn on. Occluding or tending to occlude. When definitions have the word in the definition, I'm like, get fucked. And then in linguistics, an oral or nasal stop. So a blocking. That's what I thought it might mean. When your cells are janky. Okay. That's a great way to put it. When your cells are janky. But yeah, so yeah, if you look at how many things the human body and its organs and whatnot are responsible for, it's surprising that we don't have um, it's surprising that we don't have more, like every single person doesn't have more problems than they already do. Because like really it seems like a machine that was built to fail. I mean, it does fail over time. But yeah. But yeah, I'm glad you're on here. We can always use a medical perspective. Obviously, no one's asking for you to give medical advice because that would be inappropriate to do on this platform. But it's always nice to have someone who has a little bit of knowledge in here that can keep us, in line. What did I do here? Oh, I did this weird double up thing. You can kind of see here where I did an increase. I didn't even plan to do that, but I did. Your pal got kicked out of other ERs for crying in pain. That that makes me feel very ill. Like I've seen it happen to some of my friends who are recovering addicts who like literally are in so much pain, and they're not looking for they're not looking for uh, uh, a endless script of like pain medicine or something, but they are in pain, but because they get classified into this category as former addicts, they don't get treated the same. So, not to relate, let me just be very clear. I'm not relating the institutional racism to my former addict friends. That there was no relation there, so I just want to be very clear because I was just like, shit, that may have sounded really bad, but no, yeah, yeah, exactly. I know what you're saying, Mads, and like that idea that like the thing is, it's like they did like so much of our I never quite put this together, but so much of our medical knowledge that we have, especially here in the West, is based on cisgender white men, and like we can't have like like demographics of people will have different like ranges of what's normal. We'll have different, even like, I know the big thing that people talk about now is like heart attacks symptoms in women versus like cis women versus yeah, exactly. Um so uh I but all of these studies have been predominantly done on white men, and so their manifestation can look very different than other people, than other genders, than other. So it's like once we realize that medicine is not you know complete without an acknowledgement that certain people are more prone to certain their normal looks different from another person's normal, and there's a reason for that. then we can start treating people like they're people rather than they're some weird anomaly against a norm that doesn't actually exist. If that makes sense. So I've been watching a lot of Dr. Mike lately. Um, that is awful. I cannot believe that. That makes me so sick. Um, I'm watching a lot of Dr. Mike here on YouTube. He is a family physician, and he was talking about how like it's just like you know because people ask him like, "Hey, is this normal? Is this normal?" And he's like, "I can't tell you what like your normal is. There's a bunch of factors that go into what's normal, and then also, and then he talked about like how all these studies were done on like white men, and it's like, okay, well, you can't really like base everyone's normal blood pressure, heart attack symptoms, what have you, on you know, um, on another a completely other different demographics normals. So yeah, yeah, that's it's crazy to me, but it's not so crazy that I don't believe that you're telling me the truth. Like that's if that makes sense. Like it's so gross, it's so terrible, yet I totally believe it because I look around, I notice things. Just yeah, I try not to get too political here, but when we talk about things like this, I truly don't believe that there is like this is a political conversation, if I'm being honest. Like when it comes to people's rights and when it comes to people's access to care, those things aren't political to me, and they shouldn't be political to anyone. Politics has no place in that area. I don't know how we end up here, but I don't see this as like a political conversation. Just like I don't see when we talk about queer and trans rights, how that's a political conversation. Because to me, it's not. It's not a question of like is something, you know, you know, if I don't think it should be an issue that is voted on, then I don't see it as a political issue. But anywho, I was just saying that this isn't this isn't always where we end up in my conversations, but sometimes we need to have those conversations because they are really important to the um, the place around. Or just kind of the environment that we're in right now, right? We need to be aware that these things are happening so that we can make changes. um, this is the neatest trick I've ever learned in my whole life. I'm like, I can make all the mesh shirts and stuff now because I don't have to chain a billion. I can just like, that's so cool. Who the fuck are you? Where am I? That's me every day, honestly. um But yes, I know you're new here, Mads. I'm Ian. I crochet, as you can see here. I do makeup. We talk about things. We're a fun, happy family here, and we have a good time. You know, most topics aren't off limits, especially important ones like you saw today. But really, it's not usually that deep. I just like, for me, as someone who's disabled, it's important for me to have like some. Your church caught fire last week. Oh my gosh, that's insane. I hope everyone is okay. I definitely don't want anyone to be hurt. Buildings can be rebuilt, right? But like with people, that's what's most important. Is that they're safe. So so yeah, we have a lot of fun here. Um, I am a trans man, a queer trans man. Um, and we just kind of chill, hang out, create a nice family, by family environment. I don't necessarily mean like children because I cuss like a sailor, if I'm being honest. So, not necessarily that kind of family, but more of like a chosen family type of supportive system. Your car was totaled today. Oh my gosh, what is. You need some good luck on your side right now. Oh, I'm so sorry. I have been having a pretty rough time mentally. So, even though I'm not having the same type of misfortune, and don't want to minimize yours, I mean, that's the thing about it, isn't it? Is like all this bad stuff can be happening, and you feel like the world's ending, but really, like we're not alone. We all have bad days that sometimes coincide with other people's bad days, and we can be there to like lift each other up and stuff like that. So that's what I mainly try to go for on this channel. If you like that kind of thing, is trying to be more positive, while also being very negative, a very negative person. But I do try to keep a good environment that makes people feel safe to talk about what they need to talk about, because I just don't feel like a lot of us have, um, access to that. Like I was saying, because I'm disabled, I don't get a lot of like interaction outside of my home. So it's really important for me to be able to come on here and be able to chit chat with people, have a good time, joke around, be silly, um, and kind of spare my spoons, for when I do have to go out and face the world. I have moss hair that calls to you. I love that. Honestly, like I last year was hey Jet. Last year was the year of the Swamp Witch for me. So I was like, I wonder if they're referring to like the Swamp Witch vibes that I was going for, or like I was wondering. Um, but yeah, and my hair is like it's actually usually much more frizzy than this, so I'm surprised I'm even getting this out of it today, but it goes buck wild some days. So if you see me and it looks like I got electrocuted because this is my hair can like stick straight up without any product in it, um, then then that's just how it is sometimes. So it's been a while that I'm making some physically better, but not mentally. Oh my gosh, migraines, any kind of physical pain can be so mentally draining. I like under duress. Yes, I feel like we need just like to re-divvy up the spoons because something's got went wrong. The spoon dispensary has been fucked. So I feel like we all need a break to replenish our spoons. And I don't know a break from what exactly, but we'll figure it out when we get there, right? So, the spoon, that's the spoon dispenser for sure. Yeah, I I love that analogy. Like, I mean, I wish it didn't apply to me or anyone I knew, um, but for me, before I was mentally ill before I met my wife. I was diagnosed before I met my wife. Um, so, but like, it wasn't nearly as severe as it's been in the last like 4 years or so, maybe 5 years. Oh my gosh, time is flying by. Um, but uh, but she has a lot of physical ailments. Anxiety is a hair volumizer. If that is true, that makes perfect sense. I like to compare my like I like slept on it weird, and this hair has been sticking up. Like my hair normally is curly. I have this scalp treatment that I've been using, after I shower, 'cause I'm supposed to, and And when I run it through one of my fingers through my hair, because my hair will do what I tell it to, um, it it'll just stay straighter, but it won't lack volume. So it'll just be like like a freaking right angle. But yeah, it just like sticks up. It does its own thing. I can't really tell it what to do. It just gets mad. Um, uh, I have heard it's part of my native roots. Um, I do not know if that is a fact or not, but I do know that I have the exact same hair texture as my mom, and a lot of her like siblings have a similar hair texture. Um, and that kind of comes from my mom's and my grandma's side of the family. And my mom's great grandmother, so my great grandmother, was 100% Comanche, digging up rancid moss and theological dialectic. Yeah, well, that is very impressive. My spoons are like, I'm trying to think of like maybe like the least morbid way to put it. I don't know. Um, you if you've ever like seen like a bug die or something and you can see like the final moments of its life, that's and like they're kind of twitchy. That's what my spoons are doing right now. They're just kind of like, yep, we're going, we're dipping out of this joint. Um, but for me, it was so helpful, such a helpful analogy with my wife, because my wife she hadn't been diagnosed with fibro yet, but she still had all the symptoms that she does now. And then she did have chronic migraines. And I had never been around someone with chronic pain so regularly before. So it was a huge game changer as to how we could communicate about energy levels. I'm so glad that it's become a lot more common for people to talk about the spoons that they have, especially, you know, I mean, not just in physical health, but in mental health as well. We can talk about the spoons that we have to do certain things, and like how I think that's so important to be able to do, because it really gives people such a strong picture of what you're dealing with and how much energy you have to do stuff, you know? And then also for me, coming out of this, like doing this surgery recovery, I harvested blood corpses. I'm a legit druid. You are badass. I'm just telling you right now, you are welcome here anytime. Please subscribe because I want you in this family because I like your brand. It's called Ian is a Weirdo, and I like weirdos. So please join the club if you want to. No pressure, but you're welcome here. Um, uh, so I but yeah, so I like that people are using it to talk about mental health as well. Um, for me, I haven't had really many problems with my physical health in my adult life. Um, I don't know. It just knew. It just knew. You know, I don't really put many tags in here, so I honestly don't know how anybody finds me. Um, but let's see. Train of thought has left the station. Totally gone. I was talking about spoons and how I liked how they were being used for mental health. Oh, then I got it. The man is scary. Yes. Yeah, very 1984 up in here. I used to like reading dystopian novels, and then I realized I was living in one. It's pretty much how my adulthood's been. Um, oh yeah, but so I had emergency gallbladder surgery on like the 28th or the 29th of December, so we're about a full month out, and it sucked. The gallbladder attacks were so incredibly painful. Um, and I was like, I was having pain like all over my abdomen, the front of my abdomen, from my hip bones to my ribs, and then I was having like some back pain as well. I was in so much pain. I don't know if I've ever been in that level of pain before. Like I was like when they were like, like what's your pain level? My first gallbladder attack that I did not go to the hospital for because I thought it might be a side effect of the medicine. Right, the system decolonize your brains. Yeah. Easier said than done, right? When the whole programming around you is very specific about what it wants. Um but anywho, Uh, but yeah, so I wasn't then. So the first gallbladder attack I thought was my medicine. So I didn't go to the doctor because I was like, I already took the medicine. What are they going to do for me? I don't think they're going to do anything for me except try to give me pain meds. Which I mean, like honestly, I probably needed at the time. But I was trying to hold off and like I don't know. I wasn't trying to be tough, but like the shit that's. No, I'm just kidding. Um, but I wasn't trying to like. I just thought it was a medicine, and I was like, they're not gonna be able to do anything. They're gonna tell me to go home, and I don't want to spend all this money for them to just tell me nothing's wrong. So the pain stopped, and then okay, you worked in post surgery recovery. Okay, so I literally just saw one of your colleagues, and post surgery. Yeah, I was there. um, And so they, when I did finally go to the hospital, I was about at an 8 in a gallbladder attack, and like it definitely hurt less than the previous one. Like the 9 was like the only thing that would hurt me more is if they took like a scalpel and just cut me open, like no anesthesia, just like straight cut me open, because I was like I wasn't experiencing like particularly like bloating. It was just like sharp, stabby, achy, all the things at once, pain all over my abdomen. Turns out my gallbladder was chock full of gallstones, and they were like, "Yeah, we're taking this sucker out," and that they did. Recovery was a bit of a bitch. In uh, in shortly after I came out of surgery, I is gonna cry about symptoms. um, and So I came out of surgery, and my wife already had noticed that I was taking shorter breaths, but she thought maybe it was just me coming in with anesthesia or something like that. So over the next like 3-4 days, my gallbladder pain and my incision site pain started to decrease noticeably. Still not great, but noticeably. But then I started having increased shortness of breath. Increased shortness. I had more shortness of breath, right? And oh, the galls. Yeah, I had all the galls. I was collecting them like like Pokeballs. That wasn't supposed to rhyme. And as soon as I let it start to rhyme, I was like, I hate myself. um, but anywho, so why do I keep on messing up the stitch? What is wrong with my brain? Um, so lots of gallstones, biggins, as we call them in the South, and then like the biggest one they took out was the size of a golf ball, and I'm like, once I did my research, I was like, gallbladders aren't that big. Like they're not huge organs, so to have something the size of a golf ball in them is pretty substantial. There's just chock full of gall balls, and so I started to have more shortness of breath in my recovery. Eventually, I went to the ER again because I was like, I've always heard if you have like significantly shortness of breath, you should go to the ER. That's what anyone will tell you, right? Because they want to cover all their bases, make sure you're not having a heart attack or your lungs aren't imploding or something like that. Hey, Don, welcome in. Um, And so I went back to the ER with pretty significant shortness of breath. It felt like I could not take a full breath. I wasn't having any pain with breathing, just a lot of discomfort and a lot of mental discomfort. with not being able to breathe all the way, if that makes sense. Like, I was really mentally unwell in this recovery process. So first they're like, okay, we're going to check for a pulmonary embolism. And I was like, great, let's, obviously we're going for the heavy hitters first. And turns out it wasn't that, but they did notice significant decreased lung capacity for me. So apparently in surgery, this doesn't look right. Is it right? Are you right? Are you right today? I guess it's right. But just something about it feels wrong. But yeah. I guess it's right. I'm just gonna do the next stitch and see if it counts. Okay, so it turns out both of my lungs had partially collapsed in surgery. Just got hardcore recovery when they get boosted due to gallbladder. Oh man, I hate that. Oh yeah, it can be so rough for so many people. Um, I think we've kind of the like, what is it, like alarm fatigue, where like people are tired of caring so much that they just stop paying attention at all. Like, I feel like that's where we're at right now, where people are like, oh, it's over, and it's like, people are still getting it. you know I'm sure you see that a lot more than I do, but yeah. So my lungs started collapsing, or they had partially collapsed. Yeah. Yeah, the gallbladder, I mean, it's like you don't notice it until it's real mad, and then you notice it, and it's like, I'm here. I didn't even know what a gallbladder did until I had it taken out of me, and I no longer had one. Look at this. I mean, it's not that bad of a knot, but it's just like, it just makes me nervous that I'm gonna pull the wrong string and it's gonna become that bad of a knot. So luckily, they gave me a spirometer, and I started doing more breathing exercises, and I am back in tip-top shape as far as it comes physically. I still have quite a bit of like incision site discomfort, but apparently that's normal. Everything I'm experiencing normal. When I eat and it feels like shit, and my whole body is like, no, apparently that's normal. So my doctor wasn't particularly helpful on that, on making me feel any better to do all of that. But yeah, but I was surprised at how many people, when I mentioned it, then I had the surgery, when hubby got boosted, and now I'm just procrastinating. Yeah, my wife is boosted. I am not. Um, I have not had it. Um, so this is actually a vape with no nicotine in it, because I'm having my top surgery. My top surgery is currently scheduled for the end of March, and a month prior, I have to go in for my I have to go in for my but it doesn't have anything fun in it. I promise. It's literally just like the oral fixation. I'm definitely not anti-green, but I can't, for my mental health, can't do it. It does not vibe with me. I am not chill. I am the complete opposite of chill, in fact. So, but big fan of it for other people. Big fan. But yeah, so yeah, my top surgery date, they are very strict about you being nicotine free. Um, they're really strict about a lot of things with top surgery, especially. And I'm like, if I was having breast implants done, I don't think you would be this this weird. But because I'm having them uh, done and insurance is paying for them and you are a plastic surgeon, you're going to be weird about it. Wholesome is fun. Yeah, so that's just me. Wholesome is fun. No, I'm really not. I'm really not. Ask anybody. Yeah. So we're gonna get these titties off, and I'm gonna donate them to the trash can. I'm so excited. But first, and I've specifically asked for this multiple times, and if they don't do it, I'm gonna have them find them and do this for me, even post-op. I want them to weigh these suckers so that I can be like, I told you all that this was excruciating. This is how much weight I had on my chest. I am 5'2". I am not a tall guy, but like at all. I mean, this is not including the hair, right? With the hair, I'm 5'5". But like without the hair, I'm 5'2". And so I have a lot of mass in my chest, and I'm convinced that I might hit like the 10-pound mark for the total weight that they take off. Comment. Orthopedic hand folks. That is very funny. So yeah, so I'm like, you better weigh these and you better tell me exactly how much they weigh. Because I spent so much money on bras when I didn't know that I was trans, I guess is a better way to put it. And then binders are so stupidly expensive and they still don't flatten me out because I'm so large up in charge. So large and in charge, kind of all over, but definitely my chest. Now the rest of me is just kind of caught up to my chest. But they're gonna be taking a lot off. And even though so I'm gonna have the procedure I'm having done, it is a double mastectomy, but it is not a mastectomy that's done for someone who has something like breast cancer. It's called a contoured double mastectomy, where they leave some breast tissue behind because most men. I'm a flesh without. Yeah, aren't we all? Um, and so uh, what's that thing? Like a dermoid? I don't know. I feel like for some reason that like came back into my life. That information about dermoids coming can happen in anyone's body. You're like, ugh, so, so horrifying and grotesque, but like still really cool. And like if you're into like morbid like medical curiosities and stuff, I don't know. Anyways, um, if you don't know what that is, maybe don't search it. Or you can search it, just don't do like an image search. Um, but anyways, what was I talking about? Who knows? Who knows? So, for those of you who are tuning in more recently, so I am working on a mesh market bag, and I just learned a trick. Like literally, I learned it on this live on how to do 3 rows at once of mesh, and it is so awesome. It's so time saving. I linked it when I first started the chat, but it's also in the video description. I think it's like like YouTube video inspo or something like that. And that's someone else's channel, but it's how to do 3 rows at once. They also teach you how to do 2 rows at once, which is pretty cool to cut down on some time. Because like honestly, like the amount of chains and stuff you have to make for mesh just can be fiercely annoying. So thank you, Mads. I really do appreciate that. Um, but I'm going to go take my sleep medication and the rest of my medication. I guess I don't have many night meds anymore. It's so weird. The changing of the order of my medications is really doing a number on my brain. but 'tis the life of someone who is severely bipolar. Because sleep is, and someone who's ADHD. Like, literally, both of them are very heavily intertwined with sleep. And guess who doesn't get the right amounts of it? If you would like to cross my path again, you can subscribe and ring the bell, and you'll actually get notified when I go live, if you would like to cross my path. But yeah, I hope everyone can get some good sleep if that's what you're into. If not, then I'll see y'all around these neighborhood streets. Yep. I'm just gonna pretend like I didn't say that. We're gonna rewind it, and we're just gonna act like that didn't happen. But yes, I hope you all have a great night, or morning, or afternoon, wherever you are. And I will drugs forever. Yes. Medication, drugs, that's my life. But yes, I hope you all have a great night, and I'll talk